Greetings everyone, this is Uppity Lass again. As usual, links are included in annotations and in the description box. Warning, the first video link is very disturbing and viewer discretion is advised. The topic I'd like to discuss today is Baby Aaliyah, the 3-year-old who is allegedly being sexually abused by her father and whose video, posted by the sister of Mother Connie Bedwell, has sparked both outrage and skepticism here on the internet. I first learned of this case through a video posted by VenomFangX, and admittedly, because of this, I was more than a little skeptical about the authenticity of the story, given VFX's rather notorious reputation here on YouTube. However, being a mother, I felt compelled to investigate the story and the SaveAaliyah.com website for myself. I watched the video Daddy's Worm in its entirety with my husband, as I wanted another perspective of the situation. At the conclusion, we both agreed that this child seemed to be talking of her own free will, and neither my husband or myself could detect any coaching by either the mother or the aunt who was also in the room at the time this was videotaped. So in my mind, it became more of a matter of what the little girl was saying, rather than why she was saying it. At about 6 minutes, 10 seconds into the video is about where my doubt began to waver, and I began to believe in the validity of the mother's fears. That's not to say that I believe that the molestation itself is valid, but that I believe that the mother's fears are genuine. Because of her young age, only a full investigation, including a psychological and physical evaluation of the child, will be able to determine if this little girl has indeed been molested. Be aware that although by all appearances this may seem like a cut-and-dry case of child molestation, that as outside observers we do not know all the circumstances surrounding this case. What local CPS, law enforcement, or the court system has done or not done officially with this situation, outside of hearsay, or what even the father's side of the story is. All that there is so far is a very disturbing video of this child and the mother's family's account of the situation. While this is certainly enough to raise concern, it is not enough to pass judgment. The only information I have been able to personally gather about the situation is through BNN, Blogger News Network, and reporters Jan and Simon Barrett, who, although at first were on the fence about the truth of the story of Aaliyah, now seem to be favoring the mother's side of the situation after apparently contacting Connie Bedwell and getting her first-hand account. I have been unable to find any other news sources that are currently investigating the story. My concern is this. Accusations of child molestation and abuse are far too often used as a tool and leverage in brutal custody battles between former spouses, which results in legitimate cases often being overlooked and not taken as seriously as they should be by law enforcement and the court system. We all know the consequences of the boy who cried wolf. The truth is, I want there to be a full investigation of both of the parents of Aaliyah, the father and the mother. If there is evidence of molestation by the father, I think he should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. But by the same token, if the mother is found guilty of making fraudulent statements in regards to allegations of the abuse, she too should be prosecuted. Right now, an organization known as the Child Protection Community is involved, which in itself is a conglomeration of several different groups involved in pedophile awareness and missing children. They have released 3 videos of a telephone interview with Connie Bedwell so far, and I will provide links to those interviews so that you can investigate the situation further and decide for yourselves, if you so choose. I reserve judgment about the Save Aaliyah campaign here on YouTube and the internet until something more concrete comes to light, either in support of the mother's accusations or against it. Something more than hearsay and innuendo. I do believe that the mother and her family are genuine in their fears based on the video of Aaliyah, and I do believe that those fears need to be officially and fully investigated by CPS and law enforcement if they haven't been already, outside local officials if need be. Cases like this often get lost in the system. However, this does not mean I believe that the father is guilty of any wrongdoing. There isn't enough evidence, in my opinion, to make that sort of judgment. All any of us have is the ambiguous testimony of a very young child talking about a worm, which although lends itself to sinister interpretation, it's not a psychological interpretation, and the testimonials of the mother and the family. While this is substantial and worth further investigation, it is not enough to form a conclusion about the father's guilt or innocence, in my opinion. Don't let your opinions about VFX determine whether you believe there is any validity to the mother's story. Read what little is available online and decide for yourself. If you don't feel comfortable donating money for fear it's a scam, start a writing campaign to Auburn City officials and legal representatives in California, urging them to pursue a more thorough investigation. In the end, it's not about Venom Fang X or about the possible internet scam behind Connie Bedwell's family posting a video of her daughter here on YouTube. It's about a child. It's about Aaliyah and what you believe is in her best interest and what you are willing to chance. Thank you, and be well.